Chronicles, a captivating podcast that brings together gaming, cannabis, and engaging conversations.
Yo, 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 what is up, levelers? You are officially tuned in to another elevated session of High Level Chronicles, the podcast where we light up, level up, and let the convo go wherever the hell it wants to. I'm your host, Chris, floating high, riding the cosmic waves with my co-host, the man who once tried to roll a joint with a game manual. What's up, Paul?
Man, I feel like it's been a minute. I'm excited to be back in the saddle, though.
I do. It does feel like, because, for those that don't know, we talked about it on the episode 2 episodes ago. I was planning a trip to Europe. So I was gone for 3 weeks. So one of our episodes we had to record even earlier, release it while we were out, or while I was out. So we actually haven't linked up for over a month now. Well, it's been
that long.
It's been about, April. I want to say end of April. It was because I left April 27th. So
yeah, so
it
over
was
a
been
month.
before that. So it's like I said, it's been over a month.
Yeah, damn, man. Nah, while you're gallivanting around Europe, I'm enjoying the nice weather we've been having out here. For everyone on YouTube, they can see the nice tan I'm sporting now. So
nice weather. I thought so. We had a dog sitter while we were gone, and I thought that she told us it was like storm after storm, rain.
Yeah, it
So
was sort of hit or
happy to
miss.
be
It's
away.
either like nice sunny, high 70s, or like rain in the 50s. So, hit or
I'll
miss.
be
I'll
happy
take
to
it,
say
though.
that the entire 3 weeks I spent in Europe, only one day did we get maybe a 20-30 minute rain in the afternoon. It was not, and what happened? It was perfect timing because we were at this big market it's a big tourist trap basically, but Campo de Fori, and it's vendors, all kinds of stuff, and there's a lot of nice restaurants right there too. But we had just sat down to eat at a restaurant, and we had got under an awning, didn't even know it was going to rain. It was sunny out, and next thing I know, we're sitting there and it just starts pouring out of nowhere. So we got lucky and avoided it. By the time we were done eating, it was just very lightly sprinkling, and then it stopped shortly after that. So I think we had better weather. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Also, as of filming, this is maybe a day or two removed, 1 year of me being a part of High Level Chronicles.
See, I'm horrible at dates. Well, hey, cheers to that. You drinking a high 9, which I am currently out of. My friend, I was going to say it in
that
my
looks
leveled
nice.
up part. Actually, I'll say it. I'll say what I've been leveled. I'll just start.
Yeah, why not?
Up, and then we'll figure out. But I'm leveling up on some. It's called AU vodka. I don't know if you've seen any ads for it. I saw ad after ad, and I figured I had to try it because vodka is one of those things that I used to drink back in the day, like all the time, right? The club, vodka Red Bull, vodka whatever it may be.
Yeah,
I was
goes with everything. Yeah.
Then it got to the point that most vodka just burned. You know what I mean? It had that afterburn. It had just like a burn. So I switched to Jack Daniels. It was Jack and Coke. You know what I'm saying? Then I elevated my whiskey game and started getting into more prestigious brands and got into bourbon, like Blanton's and stuff like that. But something caught my attention. We were in Europe. We had I don't even remember what it was called. It was a drink that they had brought, and it was vodka and something else. Man, it was delicious. I said, that wouldn't be bad every once in a while. And it just so happened, I guess, your phones hear everything you say nowadays, right? But it just so happened, I started seeing an ad for this vodka. And the more I had to look it up. And then, of course, I started seeing more ads. And either way, this vodka is fucking amazing. And it's deadly because you can't taste the alcohol. There's no burn. There's no aftertaste. And what I have here is the blue raspberry. It's blue raspberry vodka. And you can drink it straight. It tastes like candy. But what I have done is I have poured, I don't know, half the glass up with it, whatever it may be, that blue raspberry, and then the rest is pineapple juice. It's like a perfect, nice, light little refreshing drink. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds like a great pool drink,
Cheers to 1 year. Hey, I just opened the pool. The pool's ready to go. It's sunny out. It's nice. So, yeah, cheers to that, man.
Absolutely.
I just remembered
that. I was like, yeah, damn. Yeah,
go ahead. On that.
Go ahead.
Leveling up on that AU vodka here, but I also leveling up on this. I got lemon cherry gelato. That's what I'm smoking on, man. That shit's I love my gelatos. Anybody that's listened to this podcast since the beginning or ran it, I always have said gelato's my favorite. I just so happened to find this at the place that I usually get my shit from, and I ordered a good bit of it. It's nice. It's a hybrid, so I can smoke it anytime. And leveled up, man. I really haven't been playing a lot of video games lately. I have a little bit, but not like because I just got back from the trip. Work's been so fucking busy. I started something else in my life, and I'll talk about that when we get into whatever we get into tonight. With a little bit, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now, but so I really haven't been. I've been playing the Headliners, a good bit of the Headliners. It's just a fun game to be high and fucking chill and whatever. You still need to get that, bro. I'm telling you, you need to get it. It's fun as hell. But other than that, man, I've been leveling up myself.
Hey.
And when I say leveling up myself, I mean everything. Like just, I was looking. I don't remember if I mentioned this before on the episode before I went to Europe. But I said I'm looking at Europe as like a great reset for me. I've been in this funk for the last few years because of COVID and just everything, just life as a whole. Everything, like when things hit you and shit, and it's just like you just feel down and defeated, right? And I was like, nah, Europe's going to change, and I stuck to it. I said Europe's going to change, and we had a blast. And I came back and I'm working on myself now with some other stuff. So it's been good. It's been real good. I feel a lot better right now than I have in a long fucking time. Like a long
Yeah,
time.
man. Dude, vacations can work wonders, man. I totally get that.
Especially when you haven't been since the last real vacation we went on was 2019 in December. Or November, right before fucking COVID. And then we tried to go in 2023, which is the worst vacation we ever had in our life. So I don't even count that. So we haven't been on vacation since 2019. So yeah, it's nice to get. Like, what about you, man? What you been leveling up on?
Yeah, man. So I can't really pick a TV show. There is so much goddamn good TV out right now. From The Last of Us season 2, Andor season 2, another masterpiece. Black Mirror. I'm a little late to the party with Love, Death, and Robots. I think they just came out with like a 4th season.
The last season came out recently.
Yeah, so I was on
Yes,
that.
sir.
So just really enjoying this just golden stream right now. Also been trying out some Singapore slang strain, which I always thought was a funny
That
name.
sounds like a sativa.
I think it is. Yeah.
Just I don't know why it just sounds like a sativa.
I saw it. Yeah, it was a sativa. I was looking into it, and I thought it was kind of an interesting name too. All these crazy strains has different names of shit, but I always thought it was funny because like Singapore has crazy strict like drug laws. Like they will cane you, like bring a bamboo cane if you bring Singapore slang into their country. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny. And then
maybe the thing behind the name is if you bring in the Singapore, they're going to hit you hard. So hopefully this strain hits you hard. You know what I'm saying?
I've been really enjoying it.
Nice.
Gaming wise, at some point I platinumed, or almost. I tried to. I found out there were some things that you couldn't do, but I almost platinumed Elden Ring.
Shit.
I beat it. I beat every boss that I could. Like just trying to find shit that I missed. And I think I got like 80% of the way there. Because a lot of the achievements are like, achieve this ending and then that ending. So you have to play like a few times. But, I got to a point where I wasn't stuck in the room with the boss. They were stuck with me. And it was, felt like a really real accomplishment because that game is so goddamn hard. So I started a new character, but I've also taken some time playing some Outer Worlds as well, getting ready for that sequel to come out because that's a pretty good game as well.
I'm going to add something I want to bring up when we get into our main thing tonight. I need to add a little note here. What else you got, man? You been leveling up anything else?
But, I've been leveling up myself too. A friend gave me a really good fantasy book called The Blade Itself. And I've been kind of switching back and forth and reading it and then getting in the truck and putting on the audio version on Spotify and been really enjoying it so far. It's a little Game of Thronesy. Less incest though, so
Oh, man. What about our levelers, man? We got anything out there?
Yeah, we got a few. We got
say it's been a while, so we should have a fucking stack.
We got a Machine Gun Mario. He says he leveled up with.
Wait, go back to that one more time.
Machine Gun Mario.
You know what? Before we, I need to preface this before we, we kind of jumped into leveled up, but tonight, I just want to say we haven't figured it out yet. So before we dive, headfirst into the rabbit hole of randomness we're going to do, I say it's time to check on you all, the tribe. So crack open your stash jars, power up your consoles, get your screens on for your movie, your entertainment, because it's time for our favorite segment is hearing from you all on the Leveled Up segment. So again, just for those, I stopped you because there's might have a new listener this week because we've been gaining new listeners lately. This is the Leveled Up segment. It's where you, the levelers, tell us how you got lifted and what weird, wild, or just plain ridiculous stuff you got into while high as well. Whether it's gaming, binge watching something, just having deep convos with your dog or your cat. We want to hear it all. So, Paul, again, let's roll into this week's batch of baked brilliance. The levelers, who've been living that high life, sending their wildest experiences. Y'all never disappoint. So I can't wait to hear what we got going on. And you already said the weirdest name I ever heard. So say it next. So let's do this again. Machine Gun Mario.
I love that though. Yeah.
I like it.
They've been leveling up with some lemon haze. A lemon haze joint the size of a drumstick. Well, goddamn. Okay. All right. Then played Mario Kart with their grandma. She whooped my ass and said, "Don't bring a blunt to a banana peel fight." I lost my shit. I don't even know. I'm sure what that means.
You don't play Mario Kart?
I was raised on Mario Kart.
So you dropped a banana, they hit it and spin out. People say don't bring a knife to a gunfight. Don't bring a blunt to a banana peel fight.
I love it.
Paul's a little slow right now. He's leveled up too much. It's all right.
At Digital Donnie 92 hit us with this one, quote, leveled up with a hybrid gummy and tried VR for the first time. Okay, there you go. Oh man, leveled up with VR. That's got to be something.
I've always wanted to do that. I haven't done it yet. Now I was going VR. I still haven't done it.
Ended up with a virtual bartender because I thought they were judging me, arguing with the virtual bartender. Okay, well, I don't know. Do they argue back? Depends, I guess, how smart that AI is.
Bro, have you ever played Walk the Plank on VR?
Oh, I think we talked about that though.
Dude, we got to do it. We got to get you come up. We get you at the pool and we'll swim some, maybe do some VR, do some Walk the Plank outside.
Yeah, man. That's for sure. And then at Jenna T, she's still trying to recover from this. So yeah, I watched Tenet high. You've seen Tenet?
I have, and I don't even understand it not high.
Yeah. It's one of those time travel movies, and like the beginning's the ending, and just it doesn't make a lot of sense.
It reminded me of that movie. Remember that movie? I don't remember what it was fucking called because it annoyed the shit out of me, but it was Leonardo DiCaprio. And he had that weird die that had the toggle, like a toggle die, and he spun it at the end. And it was, I don't remember what Inception? It was fucking called. Is that what it was? Maybe. Yeah. That was another weird one.
Inception, that's a movie I had to watch a few times because
that's what I said. It reminds me of like Tenet. It's just,
and it was just
who did
wild.
Was that Christopher Nolan that did Tenet? I know he did Tenet, right?
I don't know if he did Tenet. I don't know if he did Inception, but
we'll look it up.
They were watching Tenet high on a stream called Space Monkey. I still don't understand it. I've just accepted that I was in a Christopher Nolan fever dream and let it happen. So that was Christopher Nolan, and
he did direct Inception. So it's all his movies.
Christopher Nolan, he makes some good shit.
He's done some really good ones. Like, Dark Knight.
He did the whole Dark Knight trilogy. He did Oppenheimer. Yeah.
Batman Begins. He did all the Dark Knights, right? I think he did all of them.
The whole trilogy, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, yeah, he's good. He's good at what he does. But yeah, so she said, just let it happen. I'm going to say, keep those coming every week. We see you. We're right there with you. Speaking of letting it happen, tonight's episode, we really don't have a roadmap, or I just have a couple things as he was talking that I just wrote down. And I was like, I mentioned something before we get sidetracked, but like I said, no roadmap, no rails, no rules. Talking whatever thoughts, game rants, hypotheticals, whatever. Probably a few things we'll regret saying tomorrow, but that's the beauty of it. We're just free flowing. So whether you're puffing, chilling, gaming, grab your snack stash, vibe with us. Let's get into it. I want to start with something that we were talking about while I was out and on this past time. GTA 6 has been pushed, and that was an uproar. pushed to next year.
Next year.
So May.
So
May
a
of
whole year.
2026.
Okay.
So you didn't even know. See, I found out when I got back from my trip. It happened while I was gone. So yeah, that's crazy. I had all these, we talked about it earlier with the games we were most excited for this year.
Yeah.
That was the list. But according to the studio Rockstar executive, whatever he is, he said that it literally was only pushed back 6 months. So if it's May, that means it was going to be a December release date anyway, right at the end of the year. So I was hoping for a summer release date, but now we're not even getting nothing.
I feel like when a game is pushed, though, they're trying to make it, playable. And you have these games that just feel rushed sometimes. And it's like, oh, like if they just would have put another 6 months, another year into this, like they would have made something really special here. And instead, it's just like a mid-level kind of, whatever. And then if it's like one of their big, like Cyberpunk, they had it just doing the 2771. There's a game that I really like growing up called Gothic. And it was so much fun, but it just wasn't complete. And so, if they have to push things, it's always a bummer, but it's like, well, is it going to be worth it in the end? Like, hopefully, but I guess we'll see next May.
Yep. I will say it's usually worth the wait. I mean, they put out solid shit and I can't wait to play it either way. But yeah. So man, speaking of Europe, Jesus, what a trip. Literally, what a trip some of that was. It was our 10-year wedding anniversary. So, we went all in for this trip, from the flights to everything. First class there and back, all the trains, first class, top tier hotels. We flew Iceland Air over. And let me tell you something, the food that they served to us in that Iceland Air first class, the dinners and everything they served. I've had nothing better at most restaurants around here. That shit was amazing. Like, even Cindy was like, oh my God, she got fish on a plane. Come on now, just to see. We were going to be like, make fun of it, right? Like, oh, this fish, Nah, it was, bro, this shit was amazing. The food that they served. The only downfall to the flight over was we had a layover, and that was in Iceland, which wasn't bad. We had because we had first class, we had the lounge access. That is
tell me
I don't
more
think
about
I can
this
ever go
lounge
without.
access.
I don't think I can ever go without that now. I don't think, even Cindy said, I don't think now that we've done the first class thing like that, I don't think we can ever fly coach again. Like, it's impossible. Like, just the lounge makes everything worth it, because when you're stuck in layovers, and we only have one small delay, and that wasn't even on that. That was on our leg from France to Italy because a wheel fell off. Yeah,
Shit.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
So we were delayed like 40 minutes on the plane. We were stuck on the plane the whole time, but I'll get to that. But at night, we weren't, but that lounge, we had a 3-hour layover in Iceland before we flew into Amsterdam, which is our first stop. Oh, the lounge. I mean, you're talking the most comfortable chairs. They have nap rooms. Like, it's dark and quiet. Like, you have a little bed. Like, it's
nice.
Plug-ins everywhere for anything you need. Like the USB-C, USB, whatever, all the options, like in every plug. Comfortable chair, food.
What's the spread like?
Full salad bar with all the fixings, full fruits, every fruit you can think of, yogurts and like protein smoothie stuff, like all this stuff.
Nice.
Of course, all the drinks you can think of, alcohol included, a full bar, anything to drink, from
all right,
water to Jack Daniels, anything you want, sodas, whatever. And then the hot foods, it depended on which lounge. Like, each one we were in was different, but the hot foods, some days, like the one that was like spaghetti and meatballs, and these were like good spaghetti and meat, like it was good. Or they had like a quiche of some sort for vegetarian like style, and then all your sides, like pasta salads and like fresh pasta salad, not like the stuff you buy at the store, like all that, everything. But just to relax, and then they have big screens all in there that show you where your gate's going to be, what time you should leave to get to the gate to board, because you're first class, you'll know when you get in, like everything. Of course, free Wi-Fi and whatever else, and plus the bathrooms, dude, alone. They have showers, full shower rooms you can go in, each individual, not like a big shower room, just each individual shower, full bath, everything. That in itself was insane. The only thing I don't even really have a complaint, but because I'd never flown like that before, so the seats didn't lay all the way flat. They were climbed back like a good bit, like a real good bit, but not flat. But when we got to Amsterdam, we had to get on a train at the airport. Easy to figure out, real easy to figure out. Hopped on the train, went to Amsterdam Central Station, and from there we walked to our hotel. It was literally not even a half a mile, like, to the hotel. And that hotel, dude, was that hotel was insane. Like, it cost you. I mean, they took our bags right away. They were gone. They were already in our room before we ever even got there. They have full breakfast every morning, full bar every evening. The room was, I mean, the European rooms aren't nothing like the rooms you have here. But for over there, it was a really nice room. And we got one of the newly renovated rooms. So I mean, it was as nice as could be. Refrigerator, everything in it. They came in at night. You know, they restocked your mini bar, full air. I mean, everything was in there. But we didn't spend much time in there. I mean, not a lot of time. We only had 4 days in Amsterdam. That was the shortest duration of all of our Europe itinerary.
Yeah, I'm sure you're trying to get out a lot,
But
explore the city and everything.
we did want to see the Anne Frank house and didn't realize how fast tickets sold out. You had to buy a month in advance. I didn't even know that. So didn't get to see. We actually got to see it because we took a canal ride and we went to nothing at all what you would expect. Like when you think of the Anne Frank house, like from history, like that's the only thing I know of from, right? Like it's just the history. Dude, it's not even, for one, it's not a house. It's one of their apartments. And she was just in the attic of this just a little tiny. It's still exactly where it was. Everything still, there's businesses all around it, like every which way you look.
Sure, yeah.
And it looks just like a normal building. You would never be able to tell that was the Anne Frank house if you didn't know what you were looking at. Like, never would you just be able to walk like, oh, I bet that's something interesting. No, you wouldn't know. It looks just like everything else. So the outside's completely different. The only thing inside is where she hid. You know what I mean? We didn't get to go in and see it, but that's the only we found out from our tour guide because we took a canal tour and they took us right on it because everything's canals over there. More water than Venice, actually. But it was
a fun fact. I didn't know that.
So we didn't get to do that, but we did go to the Van Gogh Museum. That was really interesting. That was 4 stories. And there are no, everything's stairs there. There's nothing like it's a lot of walking, a lot of stairs. The Van Gogh Museum was good. We took an Uber. We were taking Ubers everywhere, like everywhere, because everything was just everything's so far spread out for the most part. Not in Amsterdam, we took an Uber there, but other than that, we didn't. But the Ubers weren't. That was like $13, I think, from our hotel to there. Wasn't bad. Where it was like 3 miles, 3 or 4 miles to walk. After being in the Van Gogh Museum and going 4 stories and all through everything, I wasn't walking 4 miles back to the hotel. That wasn't fucking happening. Especially since that was like our first day. We had just got, that was the first thing we did the first day, the first morning was that.
That's got to be what?
So
9
we were already
ahead or something, like the jet lag.
We were 6 hours ahead.
Oh, okay.
So we had the first day we got there at 1 p.m. and we had plans to go out that evening, go to the coffee shops, smoke the weed, mushroom, whatever it may be. Bro, we got to that hotel and fucking crashed. Like, we were out because we were so tired. And I think we woke up at like p.m. and we got there. We got to our hotel around, I think we checked in around 3. We fell asleep like 9 p.m. Went out, found we everywhere was where we were at because we didn't know where we were. I mean, trying to get, still adjusted to where we were. Nothing was really open besides like mini marts and shit. I don't even know what we ate that night. Neither of us were really hungry, just from I guess the jet lag and everything over. So the next morning is when we went to Van Gogh. So I was already tired. So we took a cab back, or the Uber back. Then that evening, we hit the red light district. And that's where pretty much now we found out there was a coffee shop right across the street from our hotel, and it was nice. That's the first one we went to. But when we went to the red light district, that's where the very first coffee shop was ever is there. It's called the Bulldog. And that's where we went. Bro, that place is so chill. Like, the red light district's everything you imagine it would be, right? I mean, and if you've ever heard the stories of red light, they are in the windows. It is everywhere. Every single where you think of. Everybody is smoking weed all the fucking time. It's the essence of the air. Literally the essence of the air.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But the fucking Bulldog, man, when you go inside, the top part's where you get drinks. And when I say drinks, a coffee shop, they sell coffees, espressos, whatever, but they also sell beer. Like you can get some, or sometimes you can get some beer there. But the Bulldog also has a beer store right next door, so you can get beer and bring it in. Either way, we wasn't drinking. We were just like, trying to get some weed and chill and see what happened. I think she got the hot chocolate, but you walk downstairs to go downstairs to get the weed. It's a full spread, full menu. All the strains, everything from, most of it was sold by the gram, pretty much. If you wanted flour, they had hashish. They had, what the fuck did they call those over there? We call them spliffs, but they're called, what do they call those over there? It's the tobacco and
marijuana, yeah.
But I can't remember what they called it. Fuck. Either way, they had those. I didn't want that because I used to be a smoker. I didn't want that nicotine. So I ended up getting, I think they had some White Widow. I think that's what I got. I got a pre-roll a couple pre-rolls because I didn't have anything to smoke it with, or buy flowers. So we got pre-rolls, and then we went up and chilled and sat and just watched. People watched out, at the canal and walking up and down the red light district. And I think we were there for 3 or 4 hours, like just chilling. And then the one thing Netherlands is known for is their fries, those Dutch fries, French fries. And then went out, got those, and you get this truffle mayonnaise. I'm telling you, there's nothing like it. Nothing like it. It's amazing.
No,
But,
that's definitely on my bucket list to go there.
It's everything you'd imagine, and you can get anything you imagine. And almost every store sells everything you can imagine. Like, and when I say that, I'm talking, we literally went into one store. I mean, every store had it, but it was everything from MDMA, ecstasy, lithium, fucking cocaine, everything. You just name it.
Lithium?
Yep. No, I don't know.
Like the medicine or the mineral?
This was lithium infused something or other. Like lithium, the shit that like people fucking.
It's like a mood stabilizer. Yeah.
Yeah. Like crazy. Like I'm telling you, dude, it's so wild. Like everything's wild. Acid is everywhere, of course. Mushrooms everywhere. Every store had mushrooms and all their own strains and everything else everywhere. Yeah, it's wild. It was fun though.
So you have a lot of people on the different, a lot of different substances and stuff. Was there ever a feeling of being unsafe?
Every single person was the nicest person you'd ever fucking meet. Nice. That's one thing we said, that out of all the places we went, so it was Amsterdam, Paris, and then Italy, and multiple places in Italy. But out of all the places we went, Amsterdam had the most multicultural, the most diverse group of people ever.
Cosmopolitan, yeah.
And every single person was happy. Nothing. I never once saw any. You saw a couple bums here and there, right? That was about it. Other than that, everybody's just happy, go lucky. Nobody arguing. You would spill something. Like I saw plenty of people spill some fucking drinks and shit. They just got no problem. Like people are like, here, you want this joint? Here, you want this joint? We got to take off. Blah, blah. It's like, no, you don't have to worry about anything. It was crazy. Yeah, not once did we ever feel like not safe, and we were out late some nights.
Yeah, no, that's really cool.
And we walked everywhere. We didn't do any Ubers over there besides to Van Gogh because it was just so far away. Yeah, Amsterdam's fun. That's one place I definitely want to go back and spend more time in, just to be able to see some more stuff and spend some more time hanging out. Maybe try a show. We were thinking about it. We didn't do it.
What kind of show?
The sex shows. They have sex shows up and down the street. Yeah, you pay. It's like 40 to, most of them are $40 to $60 a ticket, and it's an hour and a half sex show. Live sex acts, women, girl on girl, boy, girl. No, there's no boy, no, nothing like that. But it was, solo play, like everything. Anything and that's everywhere. They don't think one thing. They take pride in their sex workers over there.
Good for them.
Take pride in it. But yeah, it was fun. But from there, we went to Paris, and we took a train, first class train on the fast train, the speed train. It was going like, I don't know, it said like 300 kilometers.
What perks do you get for a first class train?
We looked at we made sure we checked to see if it was worth it when we got on. We'd already bought them, so it didn't matter either way. But the seats it's pretty much like an airline. And regular coach, knees to butts, seats pretty much. First class, wide, nice seats. They recline. They have power outlets. You get meals, all your drinks, whatever you want, just like an airline, just on a train, pretty much. You can get free, you get your bags free, if you're taking whatever. So it was, in the first class ticket for both of us from Amsterdam to Paris, it was like a 4-hour train ride, something like that, 3.5, 4 hours. And for both of us, it was like $120, I think. First class tickets for 60 each, something like that. Not bad at all.
Yeah, that's great.
It was nothing. But that train ride it was comfortable. I slept most of it, but it was all countryside the whole way. It was not. It was it was high speed through the country, so it was hard to see anything besides trees. But you did get some nice open areas and got to see some of the landscapes of the Netherlands.
Sure. Yeah.
Some things like that. But the train we took from in Italy to different place, that train ride was nice. The one coming, I'll tell you about it. It was nice. But we got to Paris. I don't think it was everything she thought it was going to be. It was still very enjoyable. Paris was great. We didn't have any issues with anybody. They say Parisians are rude to America. We didn't have any problems whatsoever. Everybody was nice. We did go to a Michelin star restaurant to try on our anniversary night because we were over there in Paris on our anniversary. Don't know if I'd do that again. I don't know if I want to try it somewhere else or not. The menu was just, I don't know, man. It's just not my taste for some of the stuff. Cindy was eating some of mine because if you don't eat all your food over there, man, they look at you like, what the fuck are you doing? Like you're not eating.
At a Michelin star restaurant, I'm sure. Yeah.
Anyway, no, I'm not talking even there. I'm talking everywhere in Europe. If you don't finish your fucking plate, they come up to you. What's wrong? Do you not like it? Do you want me to get you something else? I'll go get you something else. No, we're just full. You know what I'm saying? It's, yeah.
No, I got to go to Paris when I was 16, just like on a family trip. And I ran into some really nice people, but we tried to sit down at a cafe once and waited for a while. Eventually a waiter comes out. We're like, hey, do you speak English? And he's like, yeah, but not for you. And he just like went back inside and we were not served.
Not for you.
Not for you.
Not for you.
I don't even know if that's
I've heard of stories like that, but we didn't have any of those issues. And we went all kinds of places. Never had any
Met some very nice
issues like
people
that.
too. Yeah.
I will say this. We went to the Louvre. We went to the Eiffel Tower. We went to the Palace of Versailles. Beautiful fucking place. And the only problem I ever had with anybody was that each of those places, and there was one common denominator, and I mean this with no disrespect whatsoever, but it was Asians. They are fucking pushy. Dude.
I had no idea where you were going with that.
Bro. We literally, so in the Louvre, right? The Mona Lisa is the most sought after piece everybody wants to see, of course, right?
Up against it.
We didn't push, we waited, let everybody everything. As soon as we got up close to it, like literally to be like they have a rope, and somebody watching it all fucking times. We got up to beat the rope as people were turning around to leave so we could get to the rope. Or fucking Asian girls push right in front of me, like push me and have their cameras like this in the fucking right in front of me.
You're not supposed to take a picture of the Mona Lisa with your phone. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, you are. Yeah, everybody was. Yeah, no, yeah, we did. Yeah, they were there.
When I was there, they were like, you cannot do that.
But they just push right in front. Then at Versailles, the Palace of Versailles, always in palaces are very fucking narrow. They're not like giant hallways.
Yeah.
And we're on a guided tour because that's all you can do, right?
It's not a guided.
Sorry, it's not a guided tour. It's like you can only go one way. Like the way you go, like where you enter at. It's not you can get a guide.
Yeah.
You enter one way and you have to go like their way and come back through. Like you can't. There's roped off areas. They guide you basically through the whole thing. Every fucking time we got near a room of some importance, like where the queen's bed or where the king's bed, where the consummated on the bed, like all this stuff. Like you remember if you know anything about like when they like in the movie Queen the Marie Antoinette, like they have to watch you over there, make sure you consummate your marriage. You had people watching you.
Well, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
So you got to see, they had that still there. The seats
Yeah.
and the bed, everything.
Sure. Yeah.
But of course, there was one another, the same denominator every fucking time we got to a room. Fucking Asians pushing us out of the way and just budgets. This time I had enough. We had got, it happened twice already in the palace, and I was letting it go. I was just trying to be like, okay, it's hot in here, you know, because it's so close, so much body heat. Like, just breathe, right? I'm good. But then I'm trying, like, Cindy's coming, like, the hallway, she's coming around, like, she's on my left, and I'm coming to the doorway, which is just like, you know, a normal doorway pretty much. And I stopped just to put my hand behind her back and kind of let her go through it first, right? As soon as I did that, this fucking Asian guy, like, knocks me into her. And her, you know, I had enough at that point, and I fucking elbowed the shit out of that dude. I fucking took my elbow, and he said, sorry. I had lost it at that point.
I mean, yeah,
Because
you're a
then we
tall
got
dude,
into the famous Hall of Mirrors, and I'm starting to walk. I go to take a picture again of something, and guess what fucking happens? You'll never guess what happens to me.
You get pushed.
No. 2 Asian girls reached their arm through mine to get a photo, and I backhanded that bitch so hard, dude, as hard as I could with my fucking right hand
dude.
across the face, and she left. I had enough. That was it. That's the only issue we have with those fucking, they like have no care in the world or no respect for personal space, boundary, anything whatsoever. And I don't know if that's common, because I've been to South Korea and Japan and I've never had that issue. But so I don't know. I couldn't tell you where they're from, because I'm like,
sure, yeah, whatever.
Either way, that was the only bad times we had. And out of anywhere, that was the only negative experience we had throughout the whole trip, was those 3 locations. Because
that's so.
We did the Eiffel Tower. We did the Eiffel Tower on our anniversary at night at 10:30 p.m. And I thought, how nice and romantic, right? You go to your Michelin restaurant at 7, finish your dinner at 9:30 or so, because they take a long time over there. We go to the Eiffel Tower, which is like 4 miles away. So you got to take an Uber there. And that's like 30 minutes, 25 minutes, because fucking everything over there is one way. You have to go around 2 miles just to go one straight direction. Bro, it was so fucking cold. It was like 40 fucking degrees out. The wind was howling. It was so cold. People were wearing their winter coats. We didn't bring a winter coat or nothing. We thought it was gonna be like spring weather, bro. They were in winter coats and fucking toboggans. I had a rain jacket on, and she had her rain jacket, like a light coat, and she had a sweater, I think, or she had a sweater. But it was, dude, so cold. But it was nice. It was still amazing to be up there at night, and it sparkled while we were up there. Just so happened to sparkle at the time we were up there, so it was cool. It was a very, very good experience overall. But that flight we took from Paris to Italy, we were going to Rome. That was going to be our home base. We flew Air France. Air France first class. Bro, that was the worst fucking flight I've ever been on in my life. Never again will I fly Air France, ever. First class was no fucking different. Literally not. So, you been on Southwest? You ever been on Southwest?
Yeah.
Every seat's the fucking same, right?
Yeah.
Every seat's the same. Doesn't matter where you sit. They all the fucking same except the next row. When I'm booking flights, I'm booking first class, and it tells me you get your choice of the first, like, I think it's 5 seats, like the first 5 rows or whatever. I'm expecting first class, right? Fuck no. It was 3 seats in between. We had a person in between us. And the seats were all the same. Like Southwest, there was no difference in seat. My knees were in the fucking back of that goddamn thing the whole time. But the back of the seat, it was so rough. I'm 6'4". Bro. You know what you got out of first class? You got the free drink and a fucking shit ass snack that was disgusting as hell. That was their first class. Free bags. Yeah, no, never again. That was the worst.
I would not expect that. I mean, I've never flown Air France, but yeah,
I fucking emailed my travel agent the book, and I said, I never want you to, like, he didn't know how, because I booked the flights on our own. I said, make sure you tell everybody never to fly fucking first class on Air France. And I told him the experience, and he wrote back and he said, I have only heard stories that European first class was different than like American Airlines first class. He's like, but I've never flown first class in European, so he didn't know. But I told him, I was like, yeah. You know, ain't no Emirates. Now, Emirates first class is amazing, right? I mean, Iceland Air was nice. That fucking
I see
amazing,
those commercials. I always want to fly Emirates. Yeah.
right? Now, Italy was been our favorite. Italy was our favorite spot,
The
probably
Pope,
overall.
man. What a time to be
We
there.
were there. Oh my God, Vatican City was so fucking packed.
I
The
bet.
devil was, no matter where you were, unless you were one of the fucking news people that had special cameras up on top of one roof, you couldn't see the smoke. You could. They had their cameras on it. And people could only see the big on a big. They had a big screen the whole time
Sure.
showing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe we'll be able to see it from like our rooftop or something of our hotel, something, because it's gonna be. Nah, you couldn't even. There was no way. It sits in behind everything. They only put that chimney in just for that, so it's not there permanently. So,
And I know that. That's so funny.
yeah,
Because it does. Because I've seen like the pictures, like, oh, it's white, it's black, it's white, and it does kind of look like secluded, like it's like
hmm
and I was like, oh, maybe it's just the angle I'm looking at it,
it's like
but
a little side
no,
roof off of the Sistine Chapel, like in behind everything. Like you
yeah,
would never see it.
yeah.
But it was, yeah, but it was. We didn't
An
get to go into the
American,
Sistine
the
Chapel,
Pope's American for the
right?
first time. I
Pope
mean, I
Bobby,
I know you and I are not Catholic, but
Pope Bobby.
Pope
It didn't
Bobby,
matter. Bro, there were so many American and Italian flags flying. It was
that's
amazing.
great.
Like just to
That's
be,
great.
it was amazing. And we were doing our tour of the Vatican. Of course, all that happened. So we didn't get to see the Sistine Chapel. One thing we didn't get to see, but other than that, we saw everything. It was just a truly amazing
Was it closed
experience.
for the conclave? Like they wouldn't let anyone in?
Yeah. They
Yeah.
hadn't, even though the conclave was done after, like we were there our tour was 2 days after that because we were in Rome for over a week because we were going to other places in Italy, Pisa, Naples, but Pompeii. But the Vatican, yeah, it was closed. The Sistine Chapel was closed. It was still amazing to even see and be in the place and see the rooms and just everything. We were able to be right there in the middle of the square and go right up to the thing because everybody left right after that. Like, and it was like empty. Like everybody scattered. It was definitely the trip of a lifetime just with that.
Yeah, for sure.
But then we did a day trip to Pisa, and that was on a train, first class. That was really nice. That train ride was really nice to Pisa. It was just countryside, but it was nice, wide open country. And it was still like a regional train though, so it wasn't a high speed. So we got to see a lot, but it was only because you had to take a train from Rome to Florence, and that was like a regional train. And from Florence or whatever it was, one of them was a regional, one of them was your high speed, and so got to see everything. But Pisa, bro, I was never more, what do I want to say, underwhelmed than I've ever been in my
Tower.
life. It's not even about the tower. Ever since I was a kid, I always read in the books and in the encyclopedia showing the Pisa, showing the pictures, everything. So I thought, oh, Pisa, this is going to be we'll spend a day there, right? Spend the day in Pisa. That's the only fucking thing in Pisa. There's nothing else there. Nothing. We were literally, there's nothing else there. You had to take the train to anywhere else. There was nothing else in Pisa. That was it. I say underwhelmed. That's what I'm saying. I was seeing the Pisa and everything was amazing, but other than that, Pisa sucks. There's nothing there.
I had no idea. I
So
assumed that
we got there
you
at
built
9:00 in the
tourism
fucking
around it or
morning.
whatever. Yeah.
And I was like, our train that I pre-booked was 7 p.m. at night. Bro, what the fuck am I going to do? We went to Pisa and saw it. We were back at the train station, back to the main square by 11 a.m. I said, what the fuck are we going to do for fucking 8 hours? So I
No,
changed our
like
ticket.
restaurants. Does anyone live in Pisa?
Bro, there's a couple little restaurants, but they're not nothing. They're like nothing at all worthwhile. The same generic fucking shit sold at the souvenir shop. Yeah, that's all it was. The same souvenir shops you see everywhere in Rome. And when I say that, it's literally everywhere in Italy. Sorry, I should say Italy. Same ones in Rome, the same ones in Pisa, the same ones everywhere. They're all the same. That's all it was. The same thing. Just Pisa. There was nothing else. So their streets were tiny. I mean, like tinier than Rome. But it's all built. You couldn't see it. Like you literally couldn't see Pisa till you got fucking 50 yards away because it's hidden behind all these buildings.
Or
And then it has
Pisa.
this nice little green landscape out front, and that's the only area that's other than that, it's all fucking buildings around it. So that was underwhelming.
Looks like it's kind of on the coast.
Well, Pisa's that's what I'm saying. So you got to go back to the train station and take a train to one of the things. But the beaches over there you have to have reservations and pay to get onto. They're not just walk down and get on. Didn't matter. We weren't going over there anyway.
Right.
Either way, we went back. We got to the train. I looked. There was a McDonald's. I said, let's try the McDonald's. See what it's like in Italy. Either way, we got McDonald's, and I was sitting there. I'm like, okay. I got on. I changed our ticket. And the train was leaving in like the next hour. And I'm like, all right, cool. So we ended up going back to Rome early. Pisa was just a huge letdown. But that train ride back was amazing because we took a completely different route, and it literally took us the whole coast. We were the coastline the whole time until we got into Rome and had to cut up. But the coastline the whole entire, it was amazing just to see, some of the stuff. What was that island? Yeah, it was just, yeah.
The
It was
Sicily?
life.
No, that's probably too far south.
No, it was the island. It was so I can't even think
Sardinia?
of it. Yeah, Sardinia. Off of, we got to see that as we were taking the train. Like, it was all like, yeah, it was nice. The train ride was just a nice experience coming back. It was first class, of course, and just an overall nice experience. Then the next day was our, or whatever day, I don't even remember. We did a bike tour at night, and that was the night the Pope was elected. Our bike tour was that night, but it was late that night. So what happened, we left over there to come over to go to our bike tour. We got our bike tour. Every other person on the bike tour canceled. All the other people who were supposed to be with us canceled because
St.
the
Peter's
fucking
Square or whatever.
Pope and just everybody wanted to go over there. So the company and the fucking fine print says, if there are less than 4 people, your tour will be canceled. You'll be refunded. So we got there. We were we were the first ones there. We didn't know that nobody else was coming, and they thought more people were coming, right? They just thought we were the first ones. They sent us back, said, get fitted, got your e-bike, got your vest, got your helmet, whatever. Waited, and we were supposed to leave at 8. And, it said arrive like 15 minutes early for all that. And it's 8 o'clock. Nobody else is there. Finally, the dude comes down, and he's like, well, nobody else is showing up, so you all get a private tour tonight. So that was amazing.
Oh, well, that was nice of them. Yeah.
We had the private tour with 2 guides because there's always one in the front, one in the back. We stopped at all the places. We got to go on Palatine Hill. We got to see the Colosseum from the, a whole different angle and everything. We went everywhere. Pantheon. He took us he said, I think, it was the church that you see it in a lot of the social media posts and stuff and things that you go up and take a picture in the mirror and it looks like the ceiling's behind and it's up and it's a big painting in this church. We went over, they took us over there. Then they told us where to go have dinner that night. Best place from that Nonarella's in Trastevere was amazing. They bring your pasta cooked to you in the dish it was cooked in. So you have your pan that it was cooked in. That's what they bring to the fucking table.
Nice.
That's where we first learned that Italians really get upset if you don't eat all your food, because we were like, oh, let's try this pasta. Let's try this pasta, right? Let's get the calamari. Let's get this. Well, by the time both of us got through the calamari and then got to our pasta, we couldn't eat it all. That waitress came back over and was like, what's wrong? You don't like your food? Like, no, we're just full. And she's like, let me take it. Let me give you something else. No, we're just full. Well, you don't like it? No, we like it. It's just full. And she's like, but you didn't eat it all. We're like, no.
I guess doggy bags aren't a big thing in Europe.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Only to go order takeaways. Takeaways, they have that for it. But so we learned that night. Let's watch what we order. The next day was supposed to be our Colosseum tour in the morning. The tour guide never showed up. And I had the VIP through the Gladiators Gate entrance and everything. So we got completely screwed on that one. I mean, I got the money back already, with the credit card company, but never showed. And I think it was because, God, that was a long day. Because we were going to be, and it took what should have been a 15-minute Uber ride to the Coliseum, took like 45 minutes because there happened to be all the roads closed off for this breast cancer run. And I mean, DJs and everything was fucking closed down. So no cars were going through, like the Coliseum, like the roads they were all closed. It was full of people walking and running. So like, it was just trying to get down to where we need to be was a fight. Then we get there and they never show up to the meeting location. So
maybe they got held back.
So then we said, well, let's figure out where we can walk and get back because we knew everything was. They said that race, was lasting till like 2 p.m. So we're like, okay, let's just walk straight because we had no fucking idea, right? Like,
Right.
what street? Let's walk straight until we get out. Dude, we ended up walking like 3 miles to get out of the race, like because it was still all the roads were still blocked off, just to get there. And we went the wrong way. So of course that Uber ride to get back to our hotel was $60 fucking dollars, just because it was everybody's trying to get there. The roads were closed. It was high top whatever. At that point, I didn't care. We had done walk so far, and I'm like, fuck. I was already upset because we didn't get to do the tour. Oh, it was still a good experience. Don't get me wrong. We had a good time. We ended up just doing something else. And then, other than that, man, we tried all the pasta. We tried all the food. We, the number one rated gelato place, like in Rome, was right across the street from our hotel. So we pretty much had gelato every night. Yeah. So I said this trip for me was going to be a great, like, reset for me mentally. Also, I found out that trip, it needed to be physically. Overall, on that trip, we walked over 60 miles. And for somebody that ain't done shit for like the longest time, bro, I was dying, like struggling over there. Then Cindy took a photo. We were at a restaurant. She took a photo of me, and I looked at it, and at that point in time, I was like, I don't like what I look like now. You know what I'm saying? Like what I happened I was like, I got to change that part of me too. You know what I'm saying? Like not just my mental aspect, but physically. I don't even know how it happened so fast. We got back on a Friday, or we got back on a Thursday. Friday, Saturday, we were pretty much relaxing, but we opened the pool last weekend. That's when we got back. So we opened the pool, did that. Monday morning rolled around. I'm back to work. Well, my first meeting of the day got canceled, so I had like nothing to do that morning. And if you remember, I was doing boxing with Coach Sully, and he made a post on Facebook, and it was like, I'm sure you've seen mine now, but he was talking about balanced body being in business and how you got to get your mind, you got to do this before you, and like whatever he said, everything he said, I was just like, it hit me. I was like, man, I really need to get my shit together. You know what I'm saying? Like don't have a bad life, but I could be better. Every aspect of my life could be better. Why couldn't it be? Everybody, if you can say you can't improve something, then what's wrong? You can do whatever you want. But either way, I was like, who are you? The way he was posting, he kept tagging, or he kept saying head up, horns down. And I knew for a fact.
I was like, what is that?
So I knew for a fact, because been friends with him for 10 years, that was Danny Farrar, who has been in Frederick. Wow, he owns Soldier Fit, Platoon 22 was his nonprofit. And so I knew it was something for Danny. And I said, so let me preface this with about 4 years ago, I messaged Danny because Danny was doing life coaching. And I was like, I'd reached out to him at that point in time. His rates were just, I couldn't afford it, And it was, of course, at the time, I didn't really know him. I'd met him through the motorcycle club because he used to be a president of the Desert Knights here in Frederick. And I was president of the Red Knights in Frederick. So we crossed paths, we knew each other. And I just talked about he's like, there never will be a right time. And I didn't, back then I was like, whatever. Didn't even think about it, whatever, moved on. When I saw Coach put that up, I said, I messaged him private and I said, you doing something with Danny? And he said, yeah, I hired him to be my coach about 6 months ago. And it's the best decision I've ever made. And I said, really? I said, I talked to him a few years ago and he was just out of my price range. And he's like, yeah, he was, a little expensive. He's like, but he's like, it's worth it to me. He's like, if I would have done it, he's like, I'd never be where I am right now with my business, with physical fitness, my mind, anything. He's like, because I was lost. And I was like, all right, I'm going to message him and just see what happens. And I messaged, it's still Monday morning. All this is like in a matter of, me and him talking in a matter of like 10 or 15 minutes, right? So I just messaged Danny, and I've talked to Danny since then. I was like, yo, man, I was like, a few years ago when we talked about the coach, I said, you still doing that? And he said, yeah, man. He's like, actually, he's like, we have a whole new system now. And I was like, oh, yeah? He's like, yeah, why don't we set up a call for like 1 p.m. today? It's like 11,
So 2 hours,
I'm like,
yeah.
Now look at my calendar. Well, I just so happen to have that half hour. That's the only half hour I have open on my calendar that day. So I took that as a sign. I said, okay, let's talk. Well, during that time, I talked to Danny, and man, like his questions hit me. You know what I'm saying? Like things that he was asking and whatever. And either way, you know, like I said, I now have a new life coach, a new personal trainer,
All right.
and I joined the herd. Which the herd is it's not Soldier Fit. It is Soldier Fit, but it's an aspect of right. It's like a side thing. It's all men. So group chats or group calls, like just like this every week with the guys involved in it. And I'll say, man, you never realize the struggles that other people have, especially when you think you're the only one struggling in life, like with certain
Sure.
things.
Yeah. How could you?
So I signed up with Danny on Monday. That call was every Tuesday. And he said, hey, you sign up today. He's like, I'll get you on the call tomorrow and we'll start everything. I was like, all right, let's do it. And I think that call changed everything for me because I've had therapy before. You know what I'm saying? I've been to a therapist, whatever. It's whatever. This was different. It's not therapy. You know, it is therapy. Literally, it is therapy, but it's not like,
Therapy, but less, not
you know
like
what I'm saying?
conventional. Yeah.
No, because, you know, the way it worked, you know, that call, Danny comes in with a topic for the day that he wants to discuss. And he talks about like, you know, whatever, like the last one I think was procrastination, right? How to get out of procrastinating. But then he puts you in breakout groups and you end up with somebody. And I think he did it on purpose because these breakout groups were two people. And the questions were something about he was asking questions about the core four and about your stacks and what your points were, right? Things like to discuss what you needed help with. That's part of this program. I hadn't got to that point yet. I didn't know anything about it because I had just signed up that literally the day before and was thrown into this call on Tuesday. And the other guy that joined, he's like, right when he got in the call, when he sent us the breakout, it was me and him. He said, dude, I just joined. He's like, so I'm going to let you lead this. I said, I just joined. I just joined. I said, so, I said, my exact words to him were, I have no fucking idea what he's talking about. Right about that time, but it was right about that time. Yeah, right after we started joking, like, what the fuck do we do? Are we just going to sit here for 15 minutes because it's just a 15-minute breakout? And Danny jumped in, so I knew he put us together on purpose. I thought at that point in time it was because we were new, right? It wasn't because we were new. It was because that guy signed up like just a few days before I did, so he hadn't been on the call last week. Danny said when I talked to Chris yesterday, his story was the exact same as yours. He's like, so I wanted to put you all together. Dude, we had the same exact story from everything we've been through, like exactly to a T. It's like that made me like, you know, you think I've always said, like, nobody knows what I'm going, you know, sure, there might be certain things that everybody's gone through, but not to this detail. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been through some shit,
Yeah. Right.
you know, or shit's and dude, it's crazy. So that call, I was like, yeah, I like this. And so it ended up, the whole program that I'm doing with it is also Danny personal training. It's Soldier Fit. You get everything's included. Soldier Fit's included. So I've been going every morning for the last 2 weeks at 7:30 every day. Workout. He created me a whole workout plan for the next 6 weeks and a meal plan for every single day. Like everything down to a T. So you don't have to stick to the meal plan. It's just what he suggests because you go in with the first thing you do is you go in and get on this fucking, I don't know, like $15,000-$20,000 machine. I looked it up. I don't remember. But you have to take off like your socks and everything and grab it sends electrodes to your body, right? Like a signal, and it measures everything from body fat, how much water's in your body, your muscle mass, every single fucking thing you can think of. And then he builds your workout and nutrition based off of that, based off of what your data is. So I don't know. I've been feeling better because I never did shit besides drum. I used to go to my drum lessons. That was it. And since working out, I know it ain't doing nothing to me yet, but I feel better. Just, you know, just overall. There's been a couple mornings I've been like, fuck, I'm not going to go today. You know, so like, nah, no.
Sure. Yeah.
Once I
Well,
get
no,
there and once I start going, I'm like, all right, I got this. Let's get through this one. Hit it again
no,
tomorrow.
that's great.
So
That's some
yeah, dude,
dedication.
it's been amazing. Like I've had good
I've
time.
heard about this guy from just different people, and they just rave about him. Like what
It's
you're
not even
saying
just,
about him is like very similar to what I've never met the guy, I never talked to him or anything, but I've just heard these stories, and they all have like a similar tone to them.
not everybody's going to have that because he'll be the first to tell you. He'll even he'll tell you what happened with him and his ex-wife here in Frederick. How he got removed from his own nonprofit that he raised money and got and built, Platoon 22, the Goodwill, and he'll tell you, he fucked up. He did some shit that he shouldn't have. You know what I mean? But we all do that. We all do shit we shouldn't have. Once he owned up to it, that's all you can do. You own up to it, you got to move on. So there are people that still think he has a bad reputation, but that's the people that he fucked around with. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
I
Well,
have nothing else to say. I
sure.
mean,
Well,
I'll tell
yeah,
you,
but where
hey,
he is in life right now seems to be
his
just
exact words are, "I fucked half
everything.
of Frederick."
All right.
That's his exact words, and he'll say that to anybody. So that's what I'm talking about when I say drama. That's the only drama he has. But either way, it's just been, other than that, I mean, everybody has their issue, but no, it's been great. It's been good. Like I said, I go to the gym there every morning, and the same people are pretty much there at the same time.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I've been getting to know a couple of the guys, not really, I mean, just starting to get to know. It's like I said, it's only been 2 weeks, but for the most part, it's been the same group of people, just starting to meet new people every day, really, to meet some new people, say hello. But then Danny's doing like an all male. I think it's open to anybody. He said to bring a friend, but it's like Saturday in June 14th. It's a all male group class, just physical fitness. Don't matter what shape you're in, just something everybody, just and then I think he's catering in some food, like a breakfast, like breaking bread. He wants to call it, just like a brotherhood type of thing to get some. He's trying to start this program up, really. You know what I mean? Like this, like a brotherhood. It's fitness, just getting to know each other for guys that just don't have it. Whatever. Been good.
Well, that's really great to hear, man. That's I know it can be lonely out there without support, and there's some program I listened to maybe a couple years back called about the male loneliness epidemic, and like these guys just telling their stories about things didn't work out with my wife or my children, if they had it, just kind of the struggles that they're going through that they don't really tell anyone about. Like I don't even know if they use their real names. And I was just like, shit, like this is kind of dark, but it's not something that everyone talks about.
It's not even everybody has deep shit. You know what I mean? It's just general
Right,
shit, whether
right.
it be issues with your significant other, your spouse, your
Yeah.
wife, fighting or whatever. Maybe it can be anything. Relationship with their own kids. Just shit. Teenagers, things like that. You know what I mean? How people go through shit. Or one dude talked about his dog. How upset that something happened, like his dog got sick. I mean, it's just a lot of. I mean, men being vulnerable, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it is. I'm trying to figure out, my fucking watch keeps beeping, and I don't know why. I'm trying to figure out how to turn off the fucking notification for it. I keep hearing it going beep on the backside. Now these headphones, I shouldn't be hearing anything. I don't know. Yeah, man, been pretty good. Also, I'm done talking about me for now, man. What have you been up to? What's been
Holy
fucking going
shit!
on
Yeah.
with you the last fucking month? Shit. I see you wearing a muscle shirt right now. You must be pumping something, feeling good.
Well, so
Steroids working.
I get out and I play a lot of sports in the summer, and
Okay.
it's not
Did you
technically
sign
summer
up
yet,
for any
but
this summer? What
but
leagues
yeah,
are you
I
on?
got kickball coming up. I think this might be
Oh,
one of
yeah?
my kickball uh
Those signups just ended.
drink drinkers with a kicking problem, I think was our name. So yeah, so I think that's coming up soon, and um I'm just I'm trying to get out before the weather becomes scorching, and thankfully it's been like unseasonably cool, but still like in the
Yeah.
70s and stuff. So I'm trying to get out there, and then I don't want to get a farmer's tan. So every time I go out, I'm in the sun. I'm in like some cutoff like sleeveless stuff. So
Wasn't that a farmer's tan?
what's that?
Isn't that still a farmer's tan?
Well, farmer's tan, like it cuts off like here, sort of where like if you were just wearing like a t-shirt. So I guess I don't know, maybe it cuts off like by my shoulders, but that's less noticeable because sometimes you'll wear like a shirt with a longer sleeve, it'll cover it, and then the next day
Yeah.
it's just like white, and it's just like that. It's unsightly. No, yeah, I've been doing that. Like I said, I catching up on some reading that I haven't. Some just I don't know how much you want to go. I'm sure you haven't seen some of the stuff that I've watched, but I really want to recommend Andor season 2.
I didn't even watch the first season.
All right, well,
So you can
you're
say
doing
whatever
yourself
you
a
want.
disservice.
That's all right.
So Andor season 1. So there's a lot of Star Wars spin-offs, TV shows that are all on Disney Plus, and not all of them are great. Like The Mandalorian came out and people were like, "Oh, like that's kind of fun." And it was. And then just some real, either just weird, or just dog shit shows. The Book of Kenobi was like, or the maybe the was the Book of Kenobi, or like the Book of Boba Fett. Maybe that's what it is. Boba Fett was, that was weird and not great. And so I think Kashoka, is that her name? The I don't know, and some other Jedi's like had their show, and it's all taking during like different places, the Alkalite, and like they're all like fine at best, but Andor is a goddamn masterpiece. Season 1, just
I've
banger
heard
after
it's
banger.
really good.
Yeah, have you seen Rogue One?
Yeah.
Yeah, best Star Wars standalone movie too. So you got to figure the sort of the prequel to it or whatever is good. And then season 2 was kind of a letdown. I'm watching the first 6 seasons. I'm like, what's happening? We're not. Are we leading to something? And then like the last 4 was, I was like, oh, this was worth it. And just like I was like, I guess that's where they're gonna end it. This was a great ending place, and then they have another one. And I'm like, all right, great ending place, another one. I'm like, oh my god! And so it is just 10 out of 10, both seasons. So if you haven't watched season 1, recommend it. And then definitely Rogue One as a movie, and the second season of Andor just wrapped up, and that left me a little speechless sometimes.
We just started watching the last season, the final season of Handmaid's Tale. That's what we just started when we
That
got
isn't
back.
it. Yeah, that's some dystopic shit.
First episode, I was kind of like, man, this is kind of boring right now. And then it's starting to pick up. We're on the third, fourth one now. Yeah. A lot of shows, man. A lot of shows we still need to watch, catch up on.
Yeah.
So a
I
lot
mean,
of shows got canceled recently, too. The one,
well,
The Recruit, that got canceled. That was a good show.
if you're a fan of high fantasy, man, I don't know if I've talked about it in the show or not. The Wheel of Time just had the 3rd season out, and then it got canceled.
Didn't that just get canceled?
It just got canceled.
Yeah, I would say it got canceled too. That's on Amazon, right?
And it's on Amazon. It's one of the best fantasy shows out there right now. And it was like, and that's just not just my opinion. Like, it was rated very highly, and then for whatever reason, Amazon's like, nah, you're done.
Guess what? Netflix will probably pick it up. Netflix, the show
somebody,
reviver, man.
Netflix.
Speaking of time, you know what?
What's that?
That's a great thing. Me and my wife, I asked her this earlier, and I'll tell you her answer after I ask you. I don't even know how we fucking got on it. Don't ask me how. I don't know what happened. But if you could know the exact time that you would die, would you want to know? Somebody came to you right now and said, I can tell you exactly what day, time, and date you're going to die. But, do you want to know?
Me personally, I would perseverate on that. So if someone said, so I just turned 35. So if someone's like, hey man, you're going to die when you're, and I guess it's different if it's like, you're going to die in like a year, you're going to die in like 60 years, because especially if it was closer, I would just keep thinking of it. And then like, I feel like it'd be very human to try to get out of whatever day. I mean, I assume they don't tell you how, so you're just like, well, I want to stay home, or, on that day, or what, but, try to get your affairs in order. And then, so maybe you can do some planning there. But I feel like, if someone offered me that, I'm like, whatever will be, will be. And I'd rather not think about that. I try not to think about my own mortality a lot.
Pretty much what she said.
That's what she said.
Yeah,
what about you?
Pretty much. She said I wouldn't want to know, because then I'd just be counting down the days.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
What about you?
I said I would.
Okay.
I would want to know, because I don't know. I just think it'd be interesting to know. I know how much life I have left to live. And I know, am I going to be able to achieve certain things, or do I need to refocus on something else? What can I focus? What can I shift my priorities to now? Or if maybe they said it was 60 years, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to stick to what I was fucking doing. That put me at 103.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess, depending on the length, would affect your behavior, because
no, that's what I'm saying. You wouldn't know though.
So if they said, you got 2 years, I'm like, well, shit, I'm going to try and make these 2 years count. And I'm going to do everything I ever wanted to do and try to fit it in these next 2 years. But if it said like 60 years, I'd be like, damn, I'm going to fucking chill. Like,
continue on like I was wanting to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Or I could eat what I want. I can drink, smoke as much, like, Because if it's set in stone, then I can do whatever I want. And
What if you just turn? That doesn't mean you're going to live a happy life.
It's true.
So you could go down that rabbit hole of drugs or whatever, and then be like, end up in a mental ward, anything. You could do anything and
That's
end up
true.
somewhere and just be like, fucked, or in prison the rest of your life and just live that long suffering.
That's
I
true.
don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah. No, I don't think I'd go off the rails if I knew I was living into my 90s or 100s.
When it comes to like, okay, I know I can go skydive. I know I'm not going to die. Hopefully I don't break anything. I know I'm not going to die. Right? When you jump.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess that's the flip side, the upside of knowing where you have some freedom there.
Speaking of knowing about when to die, look, I'm going to segue into this. I forgot. We went and saw fucking Final Destination, the new one in 4DX.
I heard
that was a fucking experience. That was an experience.
I have seen
been
the
to a
first
4DX
3.
movie?
No.
Oh my God. That's a Regal?
Great things, yeah.
Oh, wow. That was crazy. Probably will never do it again, but it's
especially that movie.
It's definitely worth going to. The problem, I say I'll never do it again because I have become accustomed to being very comfortable at warehouse cinemas watching a movie. Heated seats, food served, whatever.
Love warehouse. It's great.
You can't really eat popcorn and have a drink in the fucking 4DX. I mean, you can't. They have the cup holders, but it's fucking hard as hell. You have to fucking hold on. Like, no thanks. Second thing, the seats are literally straight up and down hard seats. So they're not comfortable at all. And yeah, so that's my thing. That movie was 2 hours long. My ass was sore at the end of that movie. Like literally sore. I said that was fun. It was an experience. It's definitely worth the experience.
Yeah, it's all right.
I don't think I'll be going back to one anytime soon. Not interested. I'd rather be comfortable. So yeah, but it was a good movie. It was a great movie.
I've heard.
Wasn't as good as like the first 3. I'll say. I think the first 3 were the best, especially 3. 3's really good. That's the roller coaster.
Yeah.
Right. That's the roller
coaster.
But then so fucking happened the next day. I was at the gym, and when I'm coming back, it's a rainstorm, right? And all of a sudden, I look up and I'm fucking right behind a log truck.
Yo, I had a
flashback.
They did advertisements for Final Destination 5 on log trucks, and I was like, "That's fucked up," but I like it. Like,
yep, bro, that's crazy.
Oh man,
yeah, that was a good time. I definitely recommend going to check it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need to go. We need to go to that one place we've been trying to go to. What's the fucking place right by you?
K-Pot.
Yeah, K-Pot.
Yeah. And I wonder if there's any updates on spinners. I know you seem very pessimistic that they're going to be there next to warehouse.
It'd be cool. I'd enjoy it
because it's supposed to be like this summer. What's the news about spinners?
You know what I did do while you're looking that up? I sold my boat.
Shit. I don't know if I knew you had a boat.
Yeah, I had a whole bow fishing setup, bow fishing boat. But like I said, I've become more interested in the drums and whatever. So I sold the boat and I bought a new drum kit, like an acoustic drum kit, like a full kit.
Shit.
Still in the box because we just got back and I just ordered it. I didn't think it'd come this fast, but it did.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it's a whiplash, and then you got jet lag coming the other way now. I forget like which one's better. Like one makes you wake up like really early, and one makes you like wake up really late. I forget which way you go for that.
Well, we were waking up late in Europe, and we were waking up early here.
Right,
that was us.
Because
we were literally sleeping, dude, till like 10 or 11 in the morning. And here, the first few days, like Cindy was up at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
So,
because if you're
that's how it's actually been easier for me to commit to this gym because I'm waking up early, so I've already been used to it now.
I was like, damn, Chris wakes up pretty early, like go to the gym with that, and I was like, oh, you got jet lag,
dude. I was not literally before I started this Europe trip. I wouldn't wake up till 9 o'clock. That was my normal wake up time.
Yeah,
maybe even later. Sometimes 10, depending on when my first meeting was of the day, and if I had anything to do. Now I'm up 6:30. Well, about 6:45.
So when the last couple of weeks that I was 29, I had like a weird back pain, and it would wake me up in the morning and just like make me want to kind of move. And so I started waking up 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning because I was like up. It's like this, like pain, because like it just sort of like forced me out of bed. Like laying down was kind of uncomfortable. And it's like, you got to get up, gotta move. And so we just started, running a few miles, 6:30 in the morning or so. And then taking a shower and then like going off to work. And I was like, shit, is this me now? Is this, get into my 30s, becoming a proper adult, just waking up early. And then as soon as I turned 30, my back felt all right and I'm sleeping in again. And I was like, no, nope, that was just a temporary thing. So but I would love to have that, lost the word, but that strength to wake up early, the discipline to do that.
Hey, up to Danny.
I'd love to meet the guy. Yeah.
Put you in touch. Don't you say you have a gym membership now?
So I started the gym in January. Thinking about changing it though, and
Are you under a contract?
It's like a monthly fee of something. I don't think I'm under a contract though. Could be. I don't know. I signed a bunch of shit when
I know some of them do. There's no contract here with Danny. There's no contract. It's just a month-to-month thing.
I think that's what I have, but and I was there a lot in the winter when it was super cold. I was like, oh, like a nice place to work out. But it's been so nice. I was like, I don't really want to spend the time in the gym. And then they're calling me and they're like, hey.
Or you know what? That's saying like, that makes me, like this morning when I went to Soldier Fit, it was the first time. Well, it wasn't the first time, but it's the first time I really paid attention because I was getting so hot from the workout that I don't know if you know where it's at, but they had all the bay doors open. So it was like being outside and working out, getting that nice cool breeze
I've
this
driven
morning.
past it a bunch of times. Yeah, I know exactly where it's at.
The backside has bay doors all on it. So
it goes into the back. Okay, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it goes all the way back through. So there's, they're made for tractor trailers.
Right,
They're made for, but it's bay doors and that's where all the equipment, everything's back there. So yeah, the front's like the lobby and shit.
My gym's in a strip mall, so I don't know. I figured I was like, it's gonna get balls ass hot in the summer, and then I'll have like a cooler place to work out. So I was like, I'll come back like in June or whatever. But haven't been there.
I've never seen a fan as big as the one in fucking Soldier Fit's arena or whatever you call it, field. Like they have an indoor like fucking arena field.
God damn.
That fan. It's like I don't know, fucking 50 yards, 60 yards by, I don't fucking know, 80 maybe. That whole area, there's a fucking fan. It's like almost the whole size of that goddamn room.
It's
like
just
the
blowing down
place.
like cool air.
Yeah, and you can just feel cool air the whole time. Like I'm like, no wonder they can work out in it because I was thinking
that's pretty cool.
I know they have air conditioning. It's always it's like always set to 64, and so it doesn't. It says do not touch. But so that those fans though, I've never seen a fan that big. Like never seen a fan that big in my life.
That is that's cool. Shit. Well, yeah. Glad we were able to catch up a little bit.
Yeah. Now levelers get to hear all our catch up from the last month.
Absolutely. We still got Split Fiction on the agenda, man. We gotta get back in there.
Gotta get back into it. Absolutely. Yeah, we need to do that. We gotta get that on the agenda. We gotta get K-Pod on the agenda. I'm going to a concert this Saturday.
Who are you seeing?
Halsey.
Okay. Nice. She's good. My wife's a big fan of hers. Hell, I like all her shit too.
Yeah, I've liked most of her stuff. So we'll see. Should be a good time. Good times.
Awesome.
All right, man. Hey, I'll seriously let me know if you want me to put you in touch with Danny. You know what? Levelers, that's going to wrap it up for the nice little trip through the multiverse, or I would say my European trip for the most part. I think that took up a lot of time. But either way, no problem. Good vibes, wild tangents about nothing disrespectful, but that's just what happened. Those certain group. A couple brain farts along the way. If you vibe with us tonight, make sure to hit up highlevelchronicles.com. Holler at us on social media at HLC Podcast 420. We love hearing from you all, the good, the bad, and the what the hell were you thinking. Until next time.
Thanks for listening.
Stay leveled up. We are out.
See you next time.